I think most people imagine living with Dachshunds means being woken up at 6 o'clock every morning by two excited little dogs demanding breakfast. Not in this house. When my alarm goes off, I'm the first one awake. Amy might come and say hello, but goes straight back to bed. Foxy sometimes opens one eye, looks at me as if to say why I'm disturbing everyone's sleep, and then promptly goes back to snoozing and tries to ignore any noise I make when I get up. They both somehow manage to disappear even further under the duvet. If I left them alone, I'm fairly sure they'll happily sleep until lunchtime. It's one of the first things only Dachshund owners really understand. They're surprisingly talented professional sleepers. Eventually, I persuade everyone that it's time to start the day. So once I'm showered and head to the kitchen, the girls slowly follow when they decide they're ready. Of course, once they're awake, they're fully awake. Within seconds, the sofa turns into a playground. The sofa becomes a wrestling ring. 1 minute they're gently cuddling together, the next they're chasing each other around the cushions as if they're still puppies. I love watching this part of the morning. They're 6 and 3 years old now, but every now and then they completely forget their age and act like wild pups. Watching them play together never gets old. It's impossible not to smile. They're quite loud when they are excited, and they seem to take who wins in wrestling in turn. And I don't know if you've noticed this with your Dachshund, but they seem to have two speeds, fast asleep or full speed ahead. There doesn't seem to be much in between. Then it is time to explore the garden. Every single morning the girls carry out what appears to be a very important weather inspection. First they check the grass. If it's dry, brilliant. If it's wet, apparently the entire walk may need reconsidering and it's a huge drama for the girls. Then some very important sunbathing. There is nothing better than soaking up some vitamin D first thing in the morning. Playtime, zoomies, sniffing and run-runs are all part of the girls' morning routine. And of course, the toilet stop. Eventually, all that play reminds them of something very important, breakfast. Obviously, I eat first, which is a time of intense staring. The girls eat a balanced raw diet, and I like adding different vegetables throughout the week to give them plenty of variety. As a veterinarian, I like feeding plenty of variety and add supplements, and it's become a routine that works well for us. The girls certainly aren't complaining. In fact, I've never met two dogs who become quite so enthusiastic when they hear the fridge door open. The bowls are usually inhaled and licked clean. Then comes my favorite part, the bowl inspection. Foxy always finishes first. Once Amy's finished, Amy will check Foxy's bowl in case she left some good food over. This never happens. Foxy's more patient and will only check the bowls once Amy's done. Or perhaps neither of them is looking for leftovers. They're making sure nobody received one extra mouthful. Apparently fairness is taken very seriously in this household. Unless, of course, you're the one getting the extra mouthful. After breakfast, while most people probably imagine we'd head straight out for a long walk, we actually spend a few minutes doing something a little different. Morning exercises. No, not mine, although I do try to fit that in most days. The girls. We use balance cushions and yoga blocks for a few simple exercises that help improve balance, coordination, and muscle strength. As a veterinarian, I know how important strong muscles are for supporting the body throughout life. The nice thing is, these exercises don't have to take very long. Just a few minutes becomes part of our daily routine. What always makes me laugh is Amy. Amy has absolutely no idea what the exercise is for. She just knows Foxy's getting treats, which in Amy's mind makes this a competition. But the moment she sees Foxy doing something, she absolutely has to be involved. This is a good preventative strategy, Amy. Well done. But if one dog is getting treats, the other has already decided she's earning one too, whether it is her turn to do the exercise or not. We try and lift the paws too, so they have to balance on 3 legs. This is much harder for Foxy compared to Amy. We also use yoga blocks. First, the front legs are placed on one, then the back legs. We do stand exercises and sit to stand. I also move the body from front to back and side to side. This weight shifting improves her muscles and balance. At the end, we use a wobble cushion and a yoga block. They are pros at their exercise routine, and as they are such foodies, they love doing the exercises for treats. They often go on the cushion themselves, looking at me and expect to get a treat. This works well me. With everyone's morning workout complete, it's finally time for the part of the day the girls have been waiting for, our walk, or perhaps I should say our sniff. Because anyone who owns a Dachshund knows that walks aren't really about walking. They're about gathering information. Every blade of grass tells a story. Every tree has important news. Every lamppost contains breaking headlines. Sometimes we barely make any progress at all. And I've stopped trying to rush them. This is their time. They're experiencing the world in a way we'll never fully understand. Eventually, we reach one of their favorite places, the dog park. The transformation is immediate. Those slow little sausage dogs who spent minutes investigating one hedge suddenly become tiny rockets. Foxy is sadly no longer allowed to play ball, but she always waits and gives me those puppy dog eyes to say, "Throw the ball." This is the thing she misses the most after the surgery. They run around together, noses down, tail wagging, completely convinced life couldn't possibly get any better than this moment. 30 minutes ago, they were refusing to walk on wet grass. Now they're charging around the park like athletes. Seeing them like this reminds me that happiness is often very simple. A good smell, a favorite toy, a friend to chase, or an open field to explore. Maybe we humans overcomplicate things sometimes. Something else happens almost every time we're out. People stop. Someone smiles, a child asks if they can say hello, another person bends down for a cuddle. Quite often, someone reaches for the phone to take a photo. And the funniest part is, the girls seem to expect it. The girls are perfectly happy soaking up the attention. I'm starting to think they genuinely believe they're famous. At this point, I'm basically just their manager. By the time we get home, everyone is a little quieter. We are ready to go to work, which means more snooze time for the girls. Back home from work, the girls climb straight back onto the sofa. Within about 30 seconds, they're asleep again, which seems quite impressive considering they spent the morning behaving like tiny tornadoes. People often ask me what it's like living with Dachshunds. The truth is, it's noisy, it's fun, it's occasionally hard work dealing with stubbornness, but it's impossible to stay annoyed with them for very long. They can turn an ordinary walk into an investigation, and they seem to believe the whole world exists purely to admire them. But underneath all those funny little quirks is something much bigger. They have enormous personalities. Maybe that's the thing only Dachshund owners really understand. They're not just dogs that live in your house. They become part of how your day begins, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What did Foxy and Amy miss today? What's the thing that every Dachshund owner understands that people who never owned one simply wouldn't believe? Leave it in the comments because I have a feeling we're going to need a part 2. Thank you so much for spending the morning with Foxy, Amy and me. If you'd like to keep following our adventures, we'd love to see you in the next video.